Right, so we are gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Oh, here comes Christine. We'll wait a moment. Yeah. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Ride your bike? Oh, gosh. Wherever you want to sit. You can come over here. Can we establish a form?
We can. I will go ahead and call roll. We'll start with Chair Crane,
Present.
Commissioner Bedard.
Here.
Actually, I don't recall. Who is your vice chair? Oh, Vice Chair Wheeler.
I'm present. In a manner of speaking.
Commissioner G.
Here.
And then I apologize. Commissioner Fawcett.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have a quorum of commissioners present.
Thank you so much. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't see a flag.
We don't, and I forgot the flag in my office.
That's okay. That's okay.
Are you okay? I can go grab the flag really fast if you don't mind waiting just a moment.
I don't think it's
No,
necessary, but
you're good. Okay, then we can go ahead and forego that part. Yeah, and then I can if you want me to. No, okay. Then we go to
or should we pledge allegiance? Is that a requirement?
I believe we can forego if you would like. Or
I'd say the other commissioners.
Matter. Throw out a projected script on
Let's have a
screen.
projection that we can do it. Thank
Okay.
you.
of course the one that I
Or take it.
There we go. We will do it virtually as
Yeah.
soon as it comes up.
Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any members of the public?
And we do not currently have anyone from the public present online, nor in person, but I will give it just a moment to see if anyone raises their hand online, which I don't see anyone, so I do not believe we have any public comment.
Okay.
Oh, let me bring the agenda back up.
All right, moving to items for consideration and action. You have the minutes. First, the minutes of the regular meeting, April 6th. Are there any recommended changes to those minutes? So I'll make one, and that is, I think it's Commissioner Fawcett. They keep putting you on the awareness committee. She's on the services. We want her. So that would be the only change I would recommend.
Okay.
And with that change, I would move that we adopt the minutes as amended.
Okay.
I'll say.
I'll second that.
So I will go ahead and take roll. So I'll do Commissioner G as the second. I'll go ahead and take roll. Vice Chair Wheeler,
Yes.
Chair Crane.
Yes.
Commissioner Fawcett. Commissioner G. And Commissioner Bedard.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that was specifically with regard to that one, and then we have, then we have the minutes of the special meeting, which are fairly abbreviated. Any requests to make changes to that?
I do. Julie, don't you believe that we did not get around to any of the subcommittee reports
That
due
is
to
correct.
due to lack of time?
That is correct.
Yes.
So with that amendment, removing subsection 5 with that amendment, I would move that we adopt the minutes as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Wheeler. I will go ahead and take roll. I will go ahead and start with Commissioner G.
Yes.
Commissioner Fawcett. Commissioner Bedard.
Yes.
Chair Crane. Yes. And Vice Chair Wheeler.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, moving on to the second item on items for consideration, a special meeting, a recap of April 20th meeting, and discuss follow-up. So I want to open it up to the commissioners. Does anybody want to talk about the special meeting or anything that happened?
Well, I'll raise my hand.
Yes. Yes.
I thought it was a really interesting presentation by Nolan Tam. I had no idea that they had expertise in libraries, which was a pleasant surprise. And it was also interesting to hear how much they were able to do for relatively modest budgets in some situations. I thought it was a good, interesting presentation with some beautiful visuals and all of them local, so we can go see them for ourselves. I also thought it was heartening to see that everyone, although perhaps with divergent visions necessarily, we're all in favor of upgrading, beautifying, whatever the library. That's all my comments.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I have to admit, I was. Yeah.
If you're speaking, Nelvin, I can't hear a word you're saying.
What I said was that I'm a little bit confused by the divergent opinions regarding NCLA funds. Certainly NCLA has a very defined stance that's relatively narrow. And while we had requested that they go back and take a look, I'm not so certain we'll get a different answer.
I can just give an update. So our next meeting is the last Monday in May, fourth Monday in May. And we've asked Myers-Nave to provide an opinion and update on that, because I agree with you. I've heard several different things, and the town of Los Altos Hills has used Myers-Nave for 20 some odd years. So I've asked them to give an opinion. So
Okay.
hopefully,
Yeah.
yes, it's confusing. I agree. And we didn't have an answer before the strategy meeting, but sure.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Anything else?
So I have a different opinion on NCLA. I don't think it's confusing at all. I think it's very straightforward, and I think that the opinion that was rendered about the Friends actually makes more confusion on it and opens things up. That's my opinion. And I think that we need to take a position where NCLA, and again, my opinion, has a very binary decision to make as to proposals and projects that come up, yes or no. Not, oh, I want, 50 more square feet allocated to this or that or the other. The NCLA is there to fund, the NCLA is there to manage the money and to make wise decisions. And that's my view of it, which I think diverges from some of the more activist perspectives of the NCLA actually making decisions as to, within the NCLA as to how to spend the money and not really taking public stuff into account.
Yeah, I hear you. The question I'm trying, as I said at the strategy meeting, I'm lucky because I have no history in this whatsoever. The first order of business is to get a current legal opinion to understand the breadth of this. And my only desire, as I've stated several times, is we need to spend the money on the library because it's useless sitting around an account. Other than that, I have no preconceived notions. So that's what I'm trying to drive for with the NCLA is let's figure out how to do that.
Well, I feel bad for repeating it again and again, but I just want it broad. I mean, to me, if it helps the inhabitants who pay into the tax base, God's will be done, then let's do something,
I agree.
And if we get an opinion like that, that's great. But I thought the meeting, so that was the NCLA part. I think, I had very mixed emotions about this meeting because I did it in 2019. And a lot of PTSD came back because of and Jamie was with us, right? And it came back, and like, okay, here we are again. Now what do we do? But I really felt energized, and I thank you, Julie, for putting it together because it did make me feel. It made me hopeful, and it made me feel like the library matters to the people of this town and community, and to the leaders. And that, we can move forward and really do some good stuff. So I'm thankful for that. Now, we all have opinions as to what that good stuff is, but.
I don't have an opinion. And I think that's understandable, but I just want to do what the group wants.
So can I ask just a clarifying question and it's your attorney-client privilege, so I don't want to step in the way. But do they have, because I think the last opinion was very focused on the one recommendation from the Friends. Is this going to be sort of a follow on to that with that narrow focus? Are there other focuses, or is it just what can we do?
I've just asked them what can we do? Not any particular proposal, just what does the document say? Because my understanding is the last time someone opined on that was
2 or 3 years ago, and it was the lawyer that is no longer associated with NCLA. And like I said, we brought
Brian
in
Myers Nave, who we have a long history of providing excellent service for. So, they haven't been asked to provide an opinion on any specific proposal.
Very interesting to hear. Yeah. Paul said, do you want to say anything? And so from my perspective, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody for being there. And I think it was very interesting as things unfolded, sort of the opportunities, and I think a bit of the conflict of some of the things that people wanted, right? Some of the proposals being discussed. So part of the agenda item here is discuss follow-up. As chair, what I have asked is for the Futures Committee, which is Commissioner G, Commissioner Bedard, and myself, to discuss the options that are available out there. And I think this will be a little bit more clear too once we get the city staff update under our new powers and duties. It's been made very clear to me that the city council does expect us to come to them with a recommendation in terms of next steps and what to do. I think that, the decision with regard to the building is going to be theirs, but we are, as a subcommittee, going to bring this back to the commission for everybody to weigh in and make recommendations. The commission can then vote, and then that can go to the council. So that's sort of the process that we're going to take as a commission with respect to this. Any comments? Any questions? No, any comments or questions? No.
And thank you for putting on the meeting. It helped me a lot because I don't have history to hear everything there. I did appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Well, and it was inspired by something that Commissioner Bedard had done. Sorry that I lost PTSD. But it was inspired by that, and I thought that's a great idea because yeah, it's hard to know all the players and know what's going on. So thank you so much.
For the record, the PTSD had to do more with the pandemic than the actual.
Something in your head sometimes, it all rolls together.
And it was well attended by several members of the council, almost, 4 to 5. So that was, the city manager was there for a period of time. So that was very exciting. That was very exciting. Okay, anything else about that? Anything else? Okay, so we can move on to, now Cindy said that she won't be able to be here until what, 6:30?
She said roughly about 6:15.
6:15. Okay, so maybe we can take the community partner updates afterwards, and can we start with perhaps item number 6, the library district presentation?
Yep.
I guess that's me.
Who moved you up? Sorry.
I have another 10 minutes to relax. They were in May already, so summer is right around the corner, and with that, of course, hard to
You
believe.
worked hard to believe that.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, the weather's not cooperating either, and summer reading, of course, every year, one of our biggest events. We have lots of programs, we have challenges, we have programs for all age groups. So of course, that's going to be starting in June 1st, but you can register early on Beanstack. You can register now, in fact. So Beanstack is a way to log your activity books and then become part of the process that way. Keep your eye out on our website for all of the great programs that we'll be hosting as well. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. With May, also, we have to start thinking about our graduates. We have a resource called the Career and Job Skill page. So if you have a new graduate looking to get a head start in the workforce, go ahead and tell them to use the library's site and materials there.
What level of graduate?
It's high school and college students,
Okay.
actually, so they have both levels there. We also have a new service here. We have a 988 mental health service for those who are in need of assistance. So we just started calling out that resource. House Project is a new app. So this features a new collection via the state library. So this is kind of along the lines of Overdrive/Libby. It's more electronic material. So it's just another way to access some of those. Next up, we have the Campbell Library. There's a little update on the renovation project going on there. And then finally, Memorial Day too, coming up soon. So very busy month. That's all I have.
Yeah, the Campbell Library renovation update,
Yes.
an additional 4.7 million in funding for the renovation.
Yeah, that was for a grant.
That was through a grant. So who applied for that?
That was up to the city of Campbell that did that. So we coordinated with them, but they actually formally submitted the request.
Okay.
Did the scope of work change at all? Because when I looked at it, that was some time back, it seemed like all they were doing was getting the same amount of square footage, but essentially improving their facility.
It is the same amount of square footage, and they are improving the interior primarily.
And I also heard a comment, and I don't know if this is true, I just heard the comment that the police were getting the better part of the deal out of the renovation.
So there are the two renovations going on at the same time, and some monies have been adjusted based on the way the city saw fit to allocate them. So yeah, some more money has been moved towards the police.
Are they getting a bigger space, or are they just?
They're similar in that it's just a redesign, I believe. So it's not like a new facility.
Okay.
We're going to rework some of the facilities that are already in place.
Okay. I love when you put those two together. I like to say you spend more time in one, you spend less time in the other.
Go to one to avoid the other.
Anything, Commissioner Wheeler, want to make sure you have a chance to weigh in, anything to share?
No, thanks.
Okay, and so then,
I have a question.
Yes,
sir.
On the library grant, are we precluded from applying for that or based, economically, does that, I know it's been an issue in the past.
So there are usually varying grants that you can apply for, just kind of depending what's going on. So this one was specifically for, I'm trying to remember all the details, but I think it was related to the COVID response. Some of the money is that they funded for libraries across the country for that. So.
Is there any tie between, libraries and, housing then at the county level? If
Can you question me a little bit more?
Well, I mean, have they looked at funding housing and libraries together at the county level? I'm just asking.
Oh, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
I've got a kind of tangential
Mhm.
question, and that is, given that there's money available for, essentially because of the pandemic, would improving the ventilation system at Woodland make sense? Because after all, I think one of the reasons why we actually had to temporarily close down Woodland for a period of time during the fires was because of ventilation. And I think it also played a role in terms of the shutdown during the pandemic.
Okay.
But it was mostly staff.
Yeah.
Still.
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, but I can certainly explore that.
Did Campbell work with you to identify the grants that might be available to it? And I asked because I'm wondering if there's somebody we should work with to see if there are grants available to us.
So with the, some of the various organizations that we're involved with will alert us if there are new grant opportunities, and that one just kind of aligned.
Okay, okay. Anything else? Okay. All right, I see Cindy is here, but we're gonna keep going with, I think those at the bottom, we'll, after city staff update, we'll come back up. That's okay, so can we move on to the main library staff report?
Do you mind putting up the presentation?
Sure.
Is there any talking going on?
No, we're waiting for everything to load.
Okay,
I think we need an app. We need an app.
I guess while Jamie's doing that, I could provide an update on the patio project that was discussed at the meeting. So, we have been busy meeting, with the various, support groups and the city. We met with, the Orchard's Commons Committee about that phase 2 that goes into the orchard. We met with, the city as well, and it's looking good. We are actually hoping to go to city council to present this project on May 23rd to get approval. And so, we have the funding from the donor pretty much aligned. After that meeting, we met with the donor, and he's very excited about it. And his comments were, for us to move as quickly as possible. And, of course, we are trying our best to do that. And with going to city council, it was advised to us from the city that we reach out to different groups, including this commission, to see if we could have support at the meeting with in public comment. And it was brought to my attention that this does need to go to a vote. And so I was hoping this could be discussed today because of the May 23rd meeting. And with the public comment, it's just supporting the project that, the library, this is something the library does want to pursue in alignment with our strategic plan, with the donor, and with, the needs, the community needs based on the needs assessments that we've identified. So that's kind of my request, and I'm open to discussion.
I don't think that this is agendized for us to take an action.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that you going is not consistent with the new model that's been adopted by or being considered by the city council. So I think we need to align because the city council has, at least at the last meeting, and we can talk more about this, has indicated that the commission is the primary liaison.
Okay.
And that at least, afterwards, I spoke to several of the council members and they were very clear that it would be the commission that would bring a recommendation as opposed to the proposed extension, the patios and all of these different things, that we would be the ones to bring it. So the fact that it's not coming to us for a vote, I think is a concern.
Okay, so, were they specific on kind of what recommendation? Because we've been working closely with Gabe on this the whole time, and so this was never really, brought up. Actually, we just met with him, so I'm just a little confused on the process there, so.
So again, I think it's something that we can talk with
Yeah.
the staff update, but see, this is where I think we're all working at. I think to some extent cross purposes, because yes, that was very clear to me by the city council. And so frankly, I would expect when you go to them that they would say, take it to us for a vote, because we haven't weighed in on it. And to do a part of something and to take money away from what could be something bigger, I think is a concern for those of us who are looking at the options.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to add? Nope.
Could I speak real quick?
Oh, of course, of course.
Okay, it's hard for me because I can't see anybody. So Julie, I know that, I have been privy to these discussions. I wasn't privy to your discussions after the April 20th meeting with the council because I wasn't physically present there, but is this something we could, let's just say, maybe that you and I could speak with Gabe about as soon as early next week? Because
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to Gabe and he did ask to speak with me. And so we can definitely have that meeting. Again, it's not consistent with what the council has indicated.
I know,
So-
but I just think that there is, I have to say there seems to be a lot of inconsistencies that are going in all directions. And it would really be nice to be able to have everybody in the same conversation so we know, so that everybody knows exactly so that everybody is really on the same page on this.
I agree. I thought we were after the city council meeting, which we attended, and
So did I,
yeah,
I understand that we may not be. So I think if, if there is an opportunity to perhaps clear this up before the May 23rd council meeting, it might be a good thing to do.
our liaison is on the line. I don't know.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
No, I think, hearing the different pieces, and I apologize, you do have me tonight that I've been a little bit removed from all things library and library commission. But I think clarifying and, some additional pieces. Now, obviously, I think it would be important. I will go back and find out kind of the details, because it sounds like there might be some miscommunication and misunderstanding there. But with that being said, if there is a request through the Library Commission, and tonight is the perfect example, we can host, obviously pending, availability. We can have a very brief meeting if there does need to be a recommendation or something of that manner that comes to light as something that they would like to see from the Library Commission. We do have a little bit of time between now and May 23rd, which is towards the end of this month. And a special meeting only requires a 24-hour notice, and it could be one action item that is something that can be discussed in more detail once we determine what the expectation and information is. So I think this point, I have my homework to go back and obviously figure out maybe where that miscommunication happened and determine what those expectations are to make that clear. And then pending that, we can then take further action if necessary.
Okay, all right, so Julie, I mean, let's hear from, I mean, it's your call, Julie, but I think we should hear from the mayor and then go forward and talk about should we meet next week.
I do have my hand raised, but I'm not sure that anybody sees that.
I do see it now, yeah.
All right. So if you want, so I don't know, so Julie and I had a conversation. I don't know about any other conversations, and of course, but obviously I was in the council meeting where all of us discussed it. I think potentially it's not a miscommunication per se, but a matter of timing. So sorry, I'm not sure if that's my computer that's beeping or somebody else's, but so council discussed commissions and then it's not finalized. It's coming forward again, probably at the May 23rd meeting. And so even though I and others gave direction, well, I particularly felt that the Library Commission should be a central point for all these efforts rather than all these, you know, separate things going around within different groups associated with the library. I don't think council I know council has not yet adopted the final version of what the commissions, all the commissions will be. And so I think this is potentially a timing issue. And so this patio proposal is ahead of the direction that council will finalize potentially on May 23rd. So I see it as a timing inconsistency, not a message inconsistency necessarily, though some changes could potentially happen when council sees it next.